to the third installment of Witch and Famous True Blood Recap Season of the Witch. Wow, this week was exciting. It was a short show and there's really only 2 good witchy scenes, but we're going to roll up our sleeves and dig right in. Pun intended. So, this week we find the witches, after last week, recoiling from what just happened. Eric is gone, Marnie's on the floor, recovering from her full possession as well as her bite marks on the neck. Everyone is completely freaked out from what just happened, most especially Lafayette, because he knows the full power of Eric from his own experiences. They ask Marnie, what did you do? How did you send him away? And she says, I have no idea. Which honestly usually is the case with a full possession. When you offer yourself as a vessel to this other spirit, you pretty much are open to whatever they want to do with you and your body. You're basically giving yourself over. Sometimes you're taken over against your will, sometimes you offer yourself, as we'll see coming up in this episode. So, in full possession, when you offer yourself as a vessel, the vessel seems to be the theme for this show, because later on with Marnie's ritual, we see how important the vessel actually is. So, later on in the ritual, we have Marnie by herself, and she is there calling out to the spirit that possessed her. She recollects how powerful it was, and she says, actually, to herself and pleading with the spirit, all my life I have known that I have a gift, and I want to know what that gift is about. Why was I born with 1 foot in this world and 1 foot in the other? Now, I know as well as you do that any true witch who's practicing this craft has the very same experience. So, we can relate to that. However, where she takes it is a bit extreme. Offering blood in a ritual is usually the most important or the highest form of sacrifice. Unfortunately, usually in television or movies, they explain it or they show it as an animal blood sacrifice. And that's usually not the case with people who are truly working. The best blood sacrifice is always your own. And giving blood is the most intense, powerful thing that you can do, most especially when you're working with spirits. Most traditional witches work with spirits. They work with their own ancestral spirits, their grandmother, their aunts, and other people associated with them. When you offer to those spirits, you start small. You offer water, you offer food, you offer liquor, and then if you're doing some serious work and you need to give those spirits real energy, you offer them blood. You offer them your blood. You offer them life force. So, back to the vessel. Marnie takes her vessel, the chalice, which represents her. Traditionally, the chalice represents the goddess or the woman anyway. And she offers 3 slices on her left hand. The left hand, or the left-hand path, as it sometimes is called, not dark and spooky. It just simply means the sinistral path. The path that goes against the grain. Any witch has to go against the grain to make magic truly happen. She offers 3 slices and she gives her life force to the vessel to show that she is the vessel. We hear her calling out to the spirit, begging her, pleading her, asking nothing in return but making her her conduit into this world. This is some pretty intense magic. And we don't know if it's working or not, but she is begging and pleading, and on the 3rd slice, the power is too intense, the pain is too intense. Pain as flashed forth, as you saw in that episode, is basically the flash of energy that's required. Marnie stumbles off to the side, and the camera turns and we see that Marnie was performing this rite in front of a mirror. And who is present in the mirror but the spirit of the woman herself that we saw possessing her? So, I would guess to say that this ritual did indeed work. Whether Marnie realized it or not, we don't know yet, but the witch has arrived. The mirror working is actually really interesting if you ask me, because I have heard of witchcraft initiations that basically involve when you are pledging yourself to the coven, you are pledging yourselves to those witnessed, as well as into a mirror. You are pledging yourself unto yourself. So, this was a very important part of this working for her, because working alone, she was working in the mirror. A mirror being a portal to the other world, as we have seen in classic stories like Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. The mirrors are very important, and oftentimes you will do spirit work into a black mirror, basically calling out into the void. Now, As far as how this relates to the way that witches truly work, this is truly, I would say, the question that's on everyone's mind, because this ritual is basically being touted as Wicca. And all these people in the group claim themselves to be Wiccans. Now, obviously and honestly, any Wiccan that you ask is not going to be able to claim this type of magic. And if they do, I really don't think that they're Wiccan. I'm not here to defend either side, I'm merely explaining. But Wicca usually does not involve blood rituals. However, in traditional forms of craft, where these things are necessary, the things that you have to do to get the job done are basically just what has to happen, as Marnie did. She took the knife in her hand, 3 slashes, 3 being the magical charm, the most powerful, and things really start to happen. I'm sure the Wiccans are not thrilled about this, as it's being represented. However, as far as a true witch is concerned, this is the way that I would do it if I was going to do this, but I'm not. So, take your vessel, fill it up with whatever it is that you choose to work with in your life, and then imbibe it fully, because then you embody it. I wouldn't be surprised if she finishes that ritual by taking it into herself. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't wait to see what happens next week and where we go from here, and how this spirit possession fully takes place. So, join me next week. I can't wait. I know you can't either. Check out my website, witchandfamous.com, and cheers!